Okay, so this video is about myth. I hear a lot of people who love it, of course. I'm one of those. And then a lot of people who are feeling like it's only for cinematic or it's only for these weird sounds. And the truth is for all of those and some others. And what you do in it or put into it is what you're going to get out of it, right? So some people are sound designers and they can get in here and they can tweak every little thing and they know what they're doing. So they're going to make some cool sounds. That would be why it's 740, I think, presets in here. And then there's people like me who made this little sound, but I have my own little strategic way of doing it. So I'm going to show you my way of doing it that's for the beginner, that's easier, and I think you'll get the idea of what you could do. And then there's a 90-day trial if you want to try this. By the way, I get paid nothing for doing this. I'm just doing it. Well, I don't get paid anything, let's say, from Dawesome. I only get something if I get enough clicks, right? To be honest with you. And I'm not doing this for clicks. I'm doing this because I really like the plugin. All right. So let's initialize. That means we start out fresh. The sound is like this. So it's an ADSR, which is right here. You can adjust all the settings here. You can use presets if you want to kind of get started. Which I didn't mean to do that. If you make a mistake, there's undo. So we're just going to start with the basic preset that's there. And what we're going to do is drag two sounds in that we like. So I'm going to go to this file folders over here that I have, see if there's two sounds that I can pull in, two loops preferably, and we'll just take those and see what we come up with. Let's try this. All right, so I'm going to go cymatics. I'm going to go something R&B because I know everybody else does all the other sounds. That's a little... We'll take it. And then let's pick something from the trap world. We'll take it. All right, so we just pulled in two sounds. These are the irises. We're going to turn them both on. When they're both on, they're playing between the two. Okay, these down here are all your transformers, aka they transform the sound. And then you have like the ability to add LFOs and all that good jazz. So you could right click out the gate, create an LFO. And you saw all I did was right click and create. It automatically creates the LFO for here. So the LFO is controlling this. And you can change the BPM. So we're going to set our BPM for, I have a little drum loop here that says 78. So that's what we'll use. And I'm only using this Eldre drum loop. Of course, I purchased the pack, but just so we could have something to play it over. Because a lot of people make these videos, you hear the sound, but you're like, how in the world do I use that in a song? So that's the goal for today. Create something that we could actually use in a song and not have a really hard time doing it, okay? So I want to make this easy for you. Let's do the same over here on this one. Create and use a new LFO. I'm going to have to silence my cell phone because otherwise it's going to distract. All right. Now, when we put these LFOs on, it's telling this that when I press a key, that it travels from a certain place where it's right now, they're both traveling the same direction. Okay. So you could change that. You could have it, one of them going this way. And this one maybe only goes partial. If you click on the LFO down here, you can change the bars to maybe speed it up, the ratio. I'm going to set that one. This is LFO 2. I think I'm on 1. I'm going to set LFO 2 to maybe 2 bars. But I want to change this LFO. Well, if you click here, you could just pick whatever. You could pick the ramp, square. I'm going to do a sign on that one. And then on this one, I'm just going to do a triangle. And then these little buttons allow me to flip it or whatever, you know, see that you want to do. So I'm going to flip that one. Okay, so when you see a freeze on here, that means they're frozen. That makes sense. They freeze, they frozen. So we want the sounds to stay. So we're going to leave those little frozen things highlighted. We're going to unfreeze these though. Because I don't know if I want some oscillators there or not or what. I don't know. I don't sound design. There's a limiter down here. A panic if it gets wild. Just click the panic. Turn the limiter on is what I like to do. You don't have to. If it's too loud, you can set a -6 dB to keep it from blaring your ears out. You'll see the importance of that when we start clicking these buttons. And you can turn the volume up if you want to. Now that's, to me, you don't even have to do all that. I'm just showing you a way to get started, right? But drop in the samples for sure. Make sure you do that. If you right click and do the LFO, you get more movement, but you don't have to, because this button right here can just take this whole preset and anything that's not frozen, it's going to adjust and make you a preset. So let's make a preset. Clicked it. Don't like it? Okay. Click it again. Nope. That sounds like a helicopter. I have these keys set to, yeah, we want to turn that off. That might be part of the problem. Okay, cool. All right, let's go here. So far, I haven't found anything too much interesting that I'm... So there's two things you can do now. You can keep clicking here, or you can use these. This adjusts the parameters of here, but it won't necessarily... anything that's frozen, it won't adjust, okay? It's not necessarily making you a new preset, it's just creating. See, now you can find some. And you can just hold it down. And what I mean by hold is actually hold the dice down. And you can see the presets like here. If you go to the filter, you'll see it adjust. Oh, that sounds like a video game. That's pretty cool. Now I'm gonna start playing some chords. See if I like it with chords. Because sometimes you might create something and it's just, that's okay. Where's the filter? Right there. And let's add another low pass filter. With a little dirt. What's on the effects? I'm gonna freeze the filter, freeze the oscillators, and I'm gonna let it change the effects. So I'm gonna do, now this is just changing the parameters on the effect. It doesn't change the actual effect. If I want to change the effect, then I'll press something like that. So if you don't like the sound of the effects, then this is pretty good. I'm gonna leave that. I like it. So let's say I've reached the point now where I like what I've done. I'm content with it, okay? I'm gonna put the -6 on. I'm gonna just pull back. I'm gonna just pull back the volume. I'm not gonna put that -6 on. All right. One of the things I like, and you might like this too. By the way, there's no LFOs now on this. It could get even better probably if I set and add LFOs, but it depends on the sound you're trying to make. Some people don't want a bunch of extra movement in the sound. Let's say if I'm trying to play chords, like I'm trying to make something with keys, I don't want all that art going on. That don't make no sense to me at that point. But everybody's different in what they like, okay? So this isn't about me telling you what to like. This is me just showing you how to use the program. Okay, so I'm gonna leave that. I like it, but I need to name it. I have choices. I could either name it here, or you see I can put my own name in here, which I did. But I can also click this button and it will randomly give me some names. Now, I don't know what that means, so I'm not gonna use it. Beast Man. That's interesting. I don't even know what that means though. These are some rando names. Some of these are funny though. Forever Read. Okay, I like it. We'll keep it. So then I click save. Now I can either type in some text to let you know what kind of sound it is, or I can just select that it's keys. It's a pad, like keys, pad, whatever. It can be cinematic. It could be a vintage. It could be a modern. Could be very ambient too. We'll put chord. It's very mellow. Let's see. Could be dark, I guess. A little dirty, a little warm, a little soft at times too. I'm just going through and describing what kind of mood does it put me in when I hear it. It's kind of relaxing, tranquil. And then maybe I want to put, there's no motion in this one as much. And as far as shape, it's not percussive, it's not plucky, it's not any of these. So we'll leave it alone. And we'll just say save. So now that's a preset. If I click here, there it is, Forevery, right? Which is interesting of our name. And you could always add notes later and then go back and do it. Okay. So we've created the sound. So now we want to put some chords to it. So I got this beat here. Oh, you know what? This is why it's so low. For some reason, my volume here has been low. Let me make sure now before we move on. And you'll see I'm going to click save and look, overwrite, okay? So it sounds like an organ. It's got a little extra something going on with that echo. Let me see if I like that. That's in the reverb that's making that noise. It might be with these grains. Let me see what's on this one. No, I don't think that would be it. Oscillator 2. I don't know what that is. So I'm thinking, if I had to guess, it's probably something in this reverb that's causing it to do that. And I think it's probably the grains. So if you don't want that extra, you could take it out, but I'm not going to do it. I'm just showing you, if you hear something in the sound, you have to try to figure out where that is happening. All right, so go back to scalar. Let's put scalar here. This is Ableton, by the way. I'm Live 12. And I'm going to use a feature I just talked about. This is brand new to 2.9, just came out today. It's passages. And if you don't know what it is, watch my video. I did a video on my two favorite Ableton, or Scalar rather, 2.9 features that they added. And this is one of them. So we are going to select a passage. And then I already created some chords to make this go quicker. So we're going to start with that passage. And this still is very loud to me. So I am going to go in and put the 6 on there. Okay, I like that. All right, so let's record that. Let's first play it just to see how it sounds to the beat. Not feeling this beat. I'm gonna be honest, just not feeling it. Let's make our own beat. We can do this pretty quick. It's not gonna take that much time. We will grab some samples from here. So let's go to, you guys know Lifted Noise. He has a lifted up vinyl drums kit. Let's use his stuff. We'll just make an audio track and we'll use, I think he sold this kit like $5 or $6. We're gonna use it. Why not? All right, promote him too. Why not? Oh, you know what? I put an audio track in. I meant to put a MIDI track in. All right, cool. There we go. So for if you're not on Ableton, don't stress what I'm doing right now. I'm just, if you're in FL, you do what you got to do in FL, right? Okay, we'll use that one. Hover over here. I guess I need to just click that. There we go. Short. I'm gonna chop this sample off a little bit. Take the snap off. Okay, right click, crop the sample. Perfect. All right, let's make a drum track real quick. Might be good to turn this on. That's good enough for me. I'm not trying to make the best drums you've ever heard, by the way. You can obviously tell that. Okay, just make a couple copies of this. Join them together. And there we go. We'll do that. I'm going to do a little quantization, then a humanization on there. And then I like to adjust these just to give it some variation and a little deviation. All that Asian up in there. What's going on, baby? Let's go. Drop that down. A lot of Asian. Deviation, randomization, humanization. There's a lot of fun words to say in a row. All right. All right, let's make some drums. Here we go. Little kick. Okay, select all, Command A, quantize, Command U. I'm only quantizing because if something's off, let's see. So this is something I've been doing lately. Okay, not the first note or the first one on there. You got to make sure you leave that one or sometimes it'll sound weird. But you could do humanize on just these parts, the rest of the parts, just to nudge them off a little bit. Excuse me. I only use about 10%, by the way. I don't really use much more than that because it gets weird. Okay, humanize, boom. So then you got that. Then I'm going to select all, and I'll do like a little deviation. Just that easy. Throw another MIDI track in and let's get some hats. Ooh, what was that? There we go. Any day now. Okay, cancel. Okay, so now we're gonna drop this in here. Take the snap off. And I like to sometimes, like with this, I one-shot it and then I'll fade it so you don't get all that extra tail in. And that's in koala, that'd be like release. So if you leave it, you see that little sound. A little bit of it is cool, but sometimes I don't want that much. All right, so let's go back over here. And then I'm gonna show you my little technique here, which is Command-Shift-M, create a MIDI. I'm gonna pick the pitch I want. There it is. They added this feature too. You just highlight like that, right click, and then, or you don't have to even right click, I'm just showing you fit to time range. And then if you know the command is in Ableton is Option Command J, and then it'll do this. Then if you go, if you set this to 16 and you go Command E, it'll just split it up. Then just randomize the velocities here. I like a great big randomization here, and then a little deviation too. Let's say you want some 30 seconds. Set it to 32 and just pick spots you want and then hit Command E. So in other words, if I want like, let's say I want a little bit right there, Command E, boom, it's done. And then if you want to randomize that little spot a little more, you can do that too. You could do that all the way through and through, or you could just do it for a couple. Like you could do something in the middle here, Command E, and then Command E, right? And then just randomize these right here a little bit, and then grab whatever you want over here and randomize these. Doesn't really matter. Then at the end, maybe you want to do a whole, like a 2 here, Command E, and then pick the last 4, skip 1. I don't know. I'm just making up stuff on this one because drums are interesting, right? Okay, cool. So there you have it. If you want those type of trap drums, I'm just doing it. And then you could always duplicate parts and whatever, move whatever you want. So, all right, that's enough of that because you could spend all day working on just that. All right, we did that portion. Let's go grab some chords. So we've created the sound. Now we're going to use scalar. I have some chords in here, and I told you we're going to use, or if I didn't tell you, we're going to use passages, right, to do them. So in order to do this, we'll need to do an octave back. All right, cool. And we'll switch to that one. All right, let's do this. I'll do the recording real quick. We're going to record in that portion of it. Here we go. There's all kinds of crazy movement going on this. And you can see the passages are like right up here where it's created these sort of kind of melody-like vibes. One of the things with the passages it didn't do, it did humanize it a little bit, but I always go in and randomize this so that, see that right there? I want to randomize the velocities of each one, and then I might even drop those a little lower here. Let's do a bass. I'm gonna turn the click off now because it would drive me nuts hearing it too much when I've already got everything I need now. Now I just need to go in and figure out what notes did I play. D sharp, A sharp, F. Okay, let's do it. Done. Okay. Boom. And there's a bass. This is not about the best bass I've ever done, but I'm just saying. And then I'm going to put some deviation on that too. So that way it varies a little bit when it plays. Adjusting, right? So now that you kind of got some backing going on with your track, you could go back in, and if there's something that's just like, man, that's annoying, or this is that, you could go in and adjust, maybe like the mix on something or little parts, because it's already kind of created. But you saw how fast, and this is just a me just doing it really quick, not putting too much thought into it, but just enough to show you how it's done. You could take something that somebody might have made real cinematic, real weird and eerie to you, right? And I'm just using context words of what I've heard from people. I'm not saying names and I'm not pointing fingers, but I'm just saying, and you can see how easy you can take myth and create something from it. And it's got a cool sound. And I could have went probably deeper, but I don't want to over work the video. I want you to be able to pick it up and feel confident when you try it out, you know, if you try it out. Of course, you got to adjust sounds and all that. I'm the kind of person where I'm going to go in and use this mixer, and I'm going to start putting a little air on these tracks, on these drums. adjust whatever volume you're going to adjust. There you go. All right, that's the end of this video. Don't want to hold you no more than I have. Hopefully you enjoyed it. You saw a way maybe that you might be interested in trying Myth. Remember, it's 90 days with everything. You can even save your presets on the 90 days. And then by the 90 days, if you don't like it, then you don't have to buy it. That's what the dev said. I'm just giving you his words. He just wants you to try it, just see what it's like. It's pretty cool. And he did optimize it the best he could to work on older Macs and older computers. So you should be pretty good for the most part. I don't think this synths take up, or this takes up too much CPU. You guys see me using it. And my CPU is up to 22%, 24%. But mind you, I'm running Trillion. I'm using other plugins with it. So you may not be using all that, and you could see what it works if it works for you. All right, that's the end of this video. Hope you enjoyed it. I'm out.